Hello there, my name is OP and today I'm gonna show you a beginner-friendly Stormgate build order for the Infernal host faction. The build is a defensive tier 3 rush that aims to get to the tier 3 power spike as soon as possible, and to finish the game soon after with 2 waves of units. The first one is a sort of a harassment economic attack, and the next one finishes the game. This build is best used in Vanguard matchups, but can also work against other Infernal players, so it's a rather versatile one. Now let's hop right into a pre-recorded game and check it out. Okay, so right from the get-go you wanna go ahead and make an iron vault. Use this time to place your camera positions on your second and third base, and keep summoning imps until you're at 11 supply. Soon after, you're gonna grab one of those imps and send it over to the closest creep camp that you want to capture.
We follow the way.
At this point, grab a second imp and make another iron vault, as well as a meat farm near the creeps. The meat farm spawns uncontrollable fellhog units that help you not only tank but also kill the creeps in a little bit once you get some of your actual units out. Now, as soon as the first iron vault finishes, you're going to make a brute, and you're going to send the brute and the hexen immediately over to the camp and start killing it.
The planet speaks. I answer.
When you start fighting, focus on infesting as many of the monsters as you can. It should be 3. And make sure you don't lose a single unit at this point in the game. Every single one counts. Okay? And while taking this down, you should use the extra resources gained to begin summoning a second base.
Here, capture not enough luminites. Need more luminites. We stand ready.
At this point, you should be saturated on luminite in the main base, and you're going to switch over to mining the secondary resource, therium. The build is very heavy on brutes, which frees up a ton of therium to be used for earlier tech. Keep steadily increasing the number of brutes, and use the units to take control of more capture points on the map. The more of them you control, the more extra cash and benefits you get. However, focus harder on the build order. Timing is everything. Though the creeps are important, this is a rush. Okay, keep that in mind.
Marching on.
Now, to make sure you don't die to early aggression, go ahead and make some static defense buildings near the second base. And start building a Hellforge that allows you to start the first Brute upgrade and later on the really powerful tier 3 upgrades. Also, summon a third Iron Vault to make sure you can pump out a lot of units if needed.
The planet speaks.
Our forces are in battle.
The aggression you're seeing is very light since the opponent is a bot, but works as an example of how brutes can hold off a small amount of units rather easily. Also, at this point, around 4 minutes, go ahead and use your first 100 therium to start tier 2. Also increase the therium mining by a bit so you can afford a couple of upgrades and a Twilight Spire as soon as it's done.
You summon need more luminites.
Dark magic stirs.
Finished upgrading.
Now, With tier 2 done, you wanna start the Soulforge Ascendance upgrade from your Hellforge as soon as possible. The upgrade buffs the tankiness of your brutes as well as increases the number of fiends they spawn upon death. This is extremely powerful as the game goes on, since it adds to the durability and damage of your army whenever brutes are involved. The extra units you get are also gonna be a huge player later on in the game. Keep in mind, you have to start your Twilight Spire around the 5-minute mark to keep up with the build.
At your service.
Capture point secured.
Now then, around 5:30 you wanna start looking at expanding to your third base, and around 6 minutes you're going to be seeing some aggression. It might be a small amount of bio, it might be hornets or hedgehogs, but you're going to see it. This window is usually from 5:30 to 6:30, and it can be disorienting to deal with the pressure while keeping the build tight. So, you can actually use this to your advantage, in a way, by keeping this as a sort of reminder for you to start your tier 3, while you deal with the pressure. You might forget it if the pressure is high, that's okay, the game is hard, and it's gonna take a couple of games, but after a while, you'll learn how to respond properly. My tip would be to keep Shroudstone Manifestation up, in case there's a larger commitment from the enemy. And also just making brutes. Do not make anything else. Don't waste your Therium yet. Go for that tier 3. Go for it, unless it's an all-in.
We stand ready.
At your service.
The second tier 3 is done, you wanna start the Frenzied Soul Craze upgrade for your brutes. This buffs the DPS of the fiends spawned by brutes by a lot for the first 10 seconds. And while it might not sound big on paper, in action those little demons will shred through Exos and Vulcans alike. But most importantly, they're super fast at destroying buildings. And that's the part that we're gonna focus on. Now, use this time, while the upgrade is researching, to make sure your bases are healthy, they are well protected, make meat farms for supply, and summon a bunch of brutes to send near your opponent's base, especially the third base. Now, you have got to dodge being seen, that's gonna be important. The attack has to be a surprise.
The planet speaks. I answer.
Capture point secured.
Now this is the powerful part. After finishing the upgrade, start another one called Molten Touch and begin your attack. Near your opponent's third base, you're going to split all of the brutes and rush in, killing the command post first. This is where the replay falls a little bit flat, since there's no real pushback from the AI opponent, but ideally you'd destroy the third base, maybe rush in with a couple of fiends into the main base, and destroy a biolab or some bobs there. The attack is actually super cheap for you, so you can sacrifice all of the fiend, maximizing the damage dealt, and you can just sort of, after that, wait and see what your opponent's play is going to be. And about that. Okay then, at this point, I've narrowed down the most common reactions to 3 distinct ones. After taking down the opponent's third base, as well as some tech in the main, the first reaction I see is the defensive play. The opponent gathers all of their units near their base as they start rebuilding their lost economy and tech, and make some extra static defense as well, making it really hard for you to punch through with just brutes. This allows you to sort of sit back, pump out a dragon and a bunch of upgraded hellbones and brutes for a final game-ending wave of attacks. This is going to win you like 90% of the games. Then there's the second reaction, the aggressive play. The opponent realizes the damage they've taken, and instead of trying to redeem the situation, they grab all of the firepower they have and march it straight into your base. Now, this is desperate, but it cannot be taken lightly. Vanguard especially has a ton of damage in all of their units, and if it all comes at you at once, you might lose. So what you have to do is you've got to hold the push with Shroudstone Manifestation, with Magmadons and Hellbones, and just hold on as hard as you can, because if you survive the push, you win the game 100%. And finally, the third reaction. See, a lot of the time, after losing their income and tech, the opponent will transition into the menu screen, followed by exiting the game. This is of course, in my opinion, the best response, because it allows me or you to hop straight into another game and hoping for another Vanguard matchup. And there we have it. That's the build. Now, if you want to see the build in action, you can watch this video right here of me absolutely crushing a diamond level Vanguard player with this style. Now, if you try it out yourself, do tell me how it goes in the comments below. Do consider leaving a like, maybe even a subscription. And I think that's it. My name has been OP, and I hope to see you on the ladder. Now, good luck and have fun, yeah?